And welcome to Hannity. And tonight we start with this Fox News alert. Moments ago, President Trump issuing a full and partial travel ban from 19 countries, including Yemen, Iran, and Somalia. We have full details straight ahead, but tonight, buckle up. We've got a busy show. In moments, the Deputy Director of the FBI, our friend Dan Bongino, he will join us with an exclusive look into the absolute unmitigated mess that Joe Biden left this country in when he left office. We have known terrorists, we have Iranian assassination squads, we have rapists, we have murderers, we have cartel members, we have gang members, drug dealers, all in this country. We all need answers. Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Attorney General Pam Bondi, they apparently not only inherited a difficult job, but far worse than any of us knew, apparently. We'll get the details tonight. Progress, thankfully, is being made. We'll have more on that straight ahead. Plus, Senator Kennedy has a message for the far-left law professor that went before his committee. Take a look.
And you say they're evil members of the United States Supreme Court? Gag me with a spoon.
We got that full exchange coming up. And huge news from Karine Jean-Pierre. She's leaving the Democratic Party in an apparent PR stunt to sell her book. It's not working if you look on Amazon. Take a look.
The number one question they ask me is, Karine, how do we get out of this? How do we protect our democracy? How do we protect vulnerable communities among us? What do we do next? Because we don't have answers here. That's what they ask me. And this is my answer.
Now, if her book is anything like her time as Biden's very own Baghdad Bob, well, it will be poorly written and probably full of lies. But we begin with a much more important matter and important news tonight. That is the weaponized, politicized Justice Department that President Trump inherited, a country that is not safe and secure, a Defense Department that needs massive reform and the elimination of woke and the next generation of weaponry. But under Biden, the DOJ, the FBI became an enforcement arm of the Democratic Party. The red flags were everywhere. And now it is up to Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi to get to the bottom of what is a massively long list of corruption. This includes the unprecedented witch hunts against Donald Trump, the raid of his home. They didn't raid Hillary's home. They didn't raid Joe's home. FISA abuse with the dirty Russian disinformation dossier, the national security probe into angry parents at school board meetings, the targeting of traditional Catholics who are labeled as domestic terrorists by Joe Biden's FBI. And let's not forget about the obsessive and heavy-handed January 6 prosecutors, including some who just walked in and walked out of the Capitol building, apparently. The same people, by the way, on the left, they ignored 574 riots. They said it was the summer of love in the summer of 2020. Kamala Harris, those rioters won't stop. They shouldn't stop. And by the way, we won't stop supporting them. We had 24 dead. We had 1,000 cops injured and billions in property damage. No investigation, no outrage. Equally disturbing, the lack of prosecutions, light sentences for violent rioters on the left. They have all this videotape they could have used to find them. They're on video, burning places down, throwing rocks at cops and bricks and bottles and Molotov cocktails, including extremists that were dressed up like terrorists, openly threatening Jewish people and wrecking college campuses. And while the Biden administration proudly labeled so-called right-wing extremism as the existential and biggest threat to democracy in America, left-wing extremists, they went unchecked, including the illegal immigrant terrorists who were lighting Jewish people on fire, as we watched this weekend in Boulder, Colorado. As we have predicted on this show, the ultra-lax enforcement of our immigration laws under Biden is a ticking time bomb. I keep saying it's not if, it's when, but I pray to God I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. The new leadership at the FBI, they are working overtime to locate and arrest terrorists, rapists, murderers, cartel members, gang members. In fact, so far, look at this. The FBI has spent over 1 million manpower hours investigating, apprehending criminal aliens since Donald Trump took office, especially those involved in the drug trade, human trafficking. Now, here's what they inherited. Let me go through it slowly. We have in our country, in your country, known terrorists. We don't know where they are. Cartel members, we don't know where they are. And by the way, Iranian assassination squads, and we don't know how to find them yet either. And gang members and murderers and rapists, other violent criminals and drug dealers, cartel members, all in our country right now. I know there are also other very important issues. The president, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, they promised to get to the bottom of all of it. The Epstein files, RFK, JFK, MLK files. Every one of these things is important. I personally want answers. We have been promised they would be forthcoming, and I believe they will be. But the first priority has got to be national security, the crisis left behind by Joe Biden, the most preventable national security disaster in our history. Tonight, we are seeing the results. Murder is way down in almost every major city in the U.S. The border is almost 100% secure. As you can see, the new leadership at the FBI does not have an easy job. Again, they inherited an absolute unmitigated disaster, and to make matters worse, navigating the hyper-partisan anti-Trump bureau, that is no easy task. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.